Good morning. We are going to go on a little garden tour today. It is supposed to be 101 degrees today, and we'll see how the garden does today. We just harvested our first zucchini, and the beans are almost ready, so let's go. Alright, so I have about 1,050 square feet of garden right here. So right here I started with turnips and beets, and they're done. So we got different kinds of kale and all different kinds of lettuce. The lettuce got too hot and started to brown and all that, so it's probably pretty much done. We can still harvest a little bit, but it's getting to where it's about done. So we had spinach here, which is empty. We got some carrots. We got all different types of carrots all through here. I got a little squash plant that it gets a little too much shade, but it's still got some. They're not squash, they're actually yellow zucchini. But it's still trying. And of course, the bugs I think are going crazy with my carrots, which carrots usually don't have a problem with bugs, but these ones are not doing too good. So we got purple carrots, yellow carrots, little finger carrots, and the little round ones that I don't know how to say. It's like Persine or something. This is stevia. I just threw it in the ground. It was in some pots for a while, and this one dried out pretty bad, but they'll probably do okay. And that's a little squash or zucchini plant that's not doing good. We got some Swiss chard over here. It is still doing decent, but the hot weather will probably make it go. We have earwigs really bad, and that's one of those earwig traps down there. But all the lettuce is getting dried out, crunchy. The heat's not doing good for it at all. These are little tennis ball lettuce. Hopefully we'll still get something out of those. But as you can see, all the lettuce is starting to die. Over here we have some chives. I just harvested a whole bunch of chives, and I dried them in the microwave, and they did really awesome. I got about a half a quart. And then I have cumin that I will harvest. They all went to flower. Now they're going to seed. There's some dill. It's doing decent. This part of the garden gets a lot of shade, so everything's kind of going that way towards the sun. But I had yellow onions here. I harvested all those because the tops were dying. They didn't get very big. I got about almost baseball size, not quite. But the red onions, they are starting to fall over, so I'll have to harvest them soon. My onions just did not do very good because I did not amend the soil at all, and so it's just, the soil's hard and dry. Next year, hopefully I can get and work on amending the soil and get some better onion harvests. I had garlic all through here. That's my garlic. I just left it there. They're little tiny heads, and they didn't do very well. And my cabbage. My cabbage is doing really well. We've been having a lot of cool weather, and so the cabbage is just like amazing this year. But we're supposed to have some hot weather the next few days. Well, from now on. So that will probably be done. And over here we have all my tomatoes. I went with the Florida weave this year. So I tie up a string and weave it in and out around the tomatoes. And it's working so far pretty good. I use just cotton string that you can get from the store, and it breaks. It's not the strongest, so I decided to get some of the jute twine and try that. And I'm hoping that it's a little bit sturdier. But these are the Roma tomatoes. I have 6 rows of tomatoes total, I believe. And the Roma tomatoes are doing really awesome because I put fish heads in the holes when I planted them. And I believe that it made quite the difference because I have Roma tomatoes that are taller than I am. And as I went this way planting them, I think I stopped about here because I ran out of fish in this row. So these rows did not get any fish. And they're just a little bit scrawnier, a little bit shorter. Just not as awesome as those super tall Romas, but they're doing okay. This is a cherry tomato. It's got cherry tomatoes all over it. And you know, they're doing okay, but I think they would have done a lot better with the fish in them. We have lots of cherry tomatoes. These are all my specialty tomatoes. Watch out, Lennon. And so I got different kinds, yellow cherries, black cherries, regular cherries all through here. And this one, I believe this is a yellow Jubilee. It's got some tomatoes on it. Golden Jubilee. And this is a regular cherry, and then the rest are Romas. Romas. Sunflowers. Yeah, Landon. I've got a purple or Cherokee purple here amongst all the Romas, and it is doing really good. We've got lots of big tomatoes. We've got some calendula that is about ready to harvest. I've got marigolds and calendula planted throughout my tomatoes, so you can see all down through there. And those were seeds that I harvested from last year's. Everything was last year's seeds that I harvested, and they all came up really awesome. So I have all different types of marigolds there. We got the giant yellow ones, we got the little dwarf multicolored ones, and lots of calendula, different kinds of calendula. We got yellows, we got oranges, and these ones are really pretty. These, I love those. But I'm going to harvest all of those and make calendula oil. I love calendula oil. It has so many healing properties. The kids love it. We put it on their cuts and scrapes, and it's amazing. These are little daisies that I planted just to give the garden a pop of color. We got some pansies, or no, petunias I mean, over here. Oops, sorry. But the Romas don't have any tomatoes on them yet. Well, they have little tiny tomatoes. We had a lot of cool weather, and then all of a sudden it turned hot, which made all the blossoms fall off. So they're just now recovering. They're getting a ton of blossoms, and we have some little Romas growing, finally. And it's just about August now. It'll be August in just a few days. So it's really late. I don't know how much of a harvest I'll get out of these Romas. But I have some like 50 tomato plants here. And so it's, you know, hopefully we'll get something. But everything is doing really awesome. All the tomatoes, they're finally starting up. And we got lots of sunflowers growing. I planted sunflowers in between all of the tomatoes. So we have tons of sunflowers. Once they all start blooming, it'll be really pretty. And over here along the fence, I planted loofahs. They're just now starting to grow. They have not been doing very good. The first round of seeds that I put in the ground didn't come up. It was just too cold, and they just didn't come up. So we got corn, just regular sweet corn. It's doing okay. Everything just really got stunted with all the cold weather we had, which, you know, it sucks, but it's life. Over here we have spaghetti squash. It is doing good. It's vining out way far. I planted cucumbers all along the fence, and about 10% of them came up. And the ones that did come up have this brown, crunchy stuff going on. The leaves turn brown and crunchy, and I have no idea what is going on. Not all of them did it, but most of them did. But they're starting to come up. You know, we might get something out of them. I don't know. Hopefully. We got a couple volunteer tomatoes here that I just let grow to see what's gonna happen. I don't know what they are. But we got a few weeds. I'm keeping up on the weeding pretty good. That is a pumpkin plant. It's going to take over for sure. But it is covered in little pumpkins. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, little pumpkins everywhere. So this one is the little tiny oh gosh, I can't even think of, like the Jack B. Little pumpkins, the tiny little ones, the little white and yellow spotted ones that are decorative. And then on the other side, I planted 2 of them. So that side's the little tiny ones, and this side is actual jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, which it has lots of little pumpkins growing on it too. But it's definitely going to take over the garden. Pumpkins usually do. So we got some Armenian cucumbers that are growing up nice. I don't see any little cucumbers on them yet, but that just started trellising up. It's, you know, just starting to grow with the heat. And I see a couple earwigs in there. Let's kill those. And a couple of earwigs. Get out of there. Eating my plants. So these are the other cucumbers that took a big hit with the brown stuff. I don't know if it's a fungus or what, but you know, despite that, it's still growing cucumbers. These are Dar bush cucumbers, pickling cucumbers. And they've got some nice little cucumbers on them, even though they look really terrible. They're starting to come back from it, I think. And then I have lemon cucumbers. Even though they look terrible, they're still going to produce. They've all got little cucumbers growing. And I got some beans growing up my gate. But my squash are doing awesome. Look at that. They are doing so great. They're actually zucchini. So I got Black Beauty, zucchini, 3 plants. There's actually 6 here because I put 2 seeds and I just let them grow. So 6 plants right here. And then these ones over here are the yellow zucchini. That one's doing really good, but that one and that one have not been doing very good. They're like really tiny. They're just starting to grow. But they still all have little zucchinis on them. See that? I'm just about got one ready to harvest down there. Not quite, but almost. And Landon decided to harvest the big zucchini this morning. And he cut a bunch of leaves off of the plant. So hopefully it'll survive that. Next time, I don't think I will let him harvest them. Yeah, but we harvested our first zucchini this morning. We have a few getting there, almost ready. They're doing okay. That one down there is probably ready to harvest. It's pretty good. So we'll be eating fresh zucchini tonight. So everything is finally starting to come together. I'm keeping the weeds down for the most part. Oh, I forgot about the beans. So we got regular green beans, Berlotti beans, and wax beans. They're all bush beans. And the green beans I planted first, and so they are starting to come out. We're going to be pickling some green beans soon. Everything's doing really good. Got lots of blossoms. So I think these are the Berlotti, which are kind of like a, gosh, I can't remember if they're a red bean or not, but everything, they all have beans on them, so we'll see soon. These are the wax beans. I planted these ones last, but they're catching up to the green beans pretty fast. I don't see any actual beans on them, but they're just starting to blossom. That's our little rooster. But yeah, so everything's doing okay. Hopefully we'll be starting to harvest quite a bit here soon. It's always the exciting part with gardening. All right, we will talk to you later.